Flashpoint, Petpet, and the future of Petpet Park games. What's known so far? The games that Petpet Park Rebuild has so far tried to adapt were first found on Flashpoint as developer versions prior to them being adapted to the Unity platform. No games captured by them so far have 100% worked and well. We know the reason why this is. Many Neopets games were adapted for Petpet Park and some park games were adapted to Neopets, so they rely on the same game structures to work. Examples of these include Super Hassy Bounce, which became Celestial Springing Block. The Killer is not known if it's based on the similar game in Neopets. Dead Pinballing is not known if it's based on the Neopets game. Files were found that would assist Petpet Park Rebuild in their cache but are locked up as tight as theirs are. During some technical discussions it was found many if not all the files were a specific problem Petpet Park demonstrated in their videos. However, the person who found HTM will not give them up without also giving up the games to him to upload them to Flashpoint. Petpet Park Preservation Society has no interest in games, so this is for them to sort out, not me. Getting the games to run off Flashpoint may be a nightmare. Flashpoint emulates a very specific thing needed to get Neopets games to run that well. Getting rid of may be hell in Unity. It's going to be fun watching this one play out, much like the Petpets or lack of a set of 6 or 9 they have demonstrated so far. What about Cardcasters? Cardcasters is a lost cause unless the Tournament Edition is found as well. There's some very interesting treasures in that version of the game. Using careful observation it's possible to note the competitor's tricks are identical to that of a player, meaning that it's also possible to make them an interactive player melee, and 3 others. Files can be using the same process be loaded into limited playable avatars, but we suspect they may not have all the arms and legs needed for a full Petpet. Also the 200 plus other animation files we suspect were packed using the same process as the Petpets were to allow so many to interact in the world without overload. What are you willing to say about the loader for either? The process is simple to understand but difficult to master without understanding how Flash works. Base the wireframe's structure. Parent objects can be copied and manipulated to do nearly anything and yet still be using the parent object to appear as it does. This makes Petpet Park difficult to rebuild in Unity as it lacks a tweener to do this, and even if you had one it would require a painstaking reconstruction of the wireframe's unique distortions for each frame. To the Petpet file is 51 layers of animations and each one needs to be perfectly layered and stacked, and also since only one wireframe exists, the Petpet files themselves are only allowed to modify to produce all 9. Any changes to the wireframe to tweak one to look better breaks the other 8, and not all Petpets have the same pieces, so not just one Petpet file can be used to regenerate the wireframe either. Notable examples are not given as well. We choose not to. How would someone regenerate the wireframe in Unity if they had a tweener and could reproduce the parent greater than child behavior to make it work? This can be done in theory easily by placing a box around the animation and exporting all of the 26 tricks one layer at a time and passively playing matchup with the distortion. The problem side that not so much doing this, it's the amount of times it needs to be done to achieve it, and also not losing any pieces if any other formats are used. Flash remembers where its pieces are and so does Unity for this trick to work. The positive is that if done correctly with certain Petpets, only 3 Petpets need to be tweaked this way, but one is not in the start of the game and we would rather let them use some brain cells to figure out which one that is.